Welcome back to the Gym Owners Podcast. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Natalia.
And today we're going to be talking to Justin Green with the Source Fitness Center. Thanks, Justin, for coming on here.
No problem, guys.
All right, awesome. Justin's been a customer of ours for, almost 7 years, I think, something like that.
Wow.
I think so.
It's been almost, how long has your gym been open?
Where I'm at currently is this building is, I think we're going on 8 years, and that's about when we found you guys. It'll be 8 years in June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And what made you say, I want to start up and I want to own a gym?
What led me to the fitness industry was after sports, playing college football. After I was done with that, I was at a loss for, I guess, an outlet. Training as a high athlete for pretty much most of my life, through high school and then into college for 5 years, and just competing and working out and training every day. Once that pretty much just stops, which is what happens with collegiate athletes, it's just taken away from you completely one day, or even high school athletes. I was like, what do I do? Where do I take my energy? Because I was so used to that, and I believe it kept me so disciplined in life. It's kept me out of trouble for the most part and things like that. So that's what led me to the fitness industry. My first gym was 900 square feet in a basement that my buddies could come in with a keypad, and it just kind of started there.
That's cool.
Awesome. What would you say, if somebody would say, why is Source Fitness different than your competitors? What would you say separates you from your competition?
So in my specific area, I'm in a small town. The actual town that I live in is 5,000 people. Now we have some surrounding towns in the areas of 18,000 and something like that, but still the population's not huge. If you remember a few years ago, we had a Planet Fitness move into town. We have an Anytime Fitness across town. Both of those at one point were locally owned. I don't believe either one of them are anymore. I know the Anytime was sold through COVID. I think that owner just kind of bowed out and didn't want to do it anymore. But what separates us, and I just go by what I hear people say, we're the gym for the serious people. If you know what you're doing and you don't want any, bull, you want to come in and actually work out, you want to be around people that kind of know what they're doing, know what's going on in the fitness center, and we're not just a place to come and hang out and talk, then that's who we are. We're more for the serious person. And I think that goes from not just the fitness people, but even business-minded people. I think I'll see a lot of my age, younger people. When you come in and you have a conversation with somebody that is working out, if you talk for a little bit, then your conversation is more meaningful. It's not just pointless conversation with a young kid in the gym. It's really just more annoying to you than anything else. You can actually get a little bit of value out of the conversations with the people you have in the gym as well.
That brings me up to a follow-up question. And Ty, I'll let you ask the next question, but you brought up Planet Fitness, and anybody with the gym that even hears a Planet Fitness is opening up, it's just fear starts setting in. What I've noticed, and you could tell me because you're still there long after that Planet Fitness opened, what I've noticed is if you could dig your cleats in for 6 months, the hurt stops and people start coming back. What have you noticed since that, gaining members back? Was there anything special you did? How long was it till members started coming back for you? And any advice for an owner that just a Planet Fitness opened up or is about to open one up next to them?
So Planet Fitness came in. We were only here for maybe 2 or 3 years at the new location when Planet Fitness moved in. So we had all those feelings. What's going to happen? Because we're in a small town that the household median income is not very high. So everybody's looking for the cheapest thing, and originally we tried to battle that. How do we battle that? So we dug in, kind of like you said, 6 months, 8 months, and you kind of get over the emotional side of it. And then we made it through that, and then COVID happens. Well, COVID to me was almost a blessing, weirdly, because I'm a believer in life. You can control what you can control, right? So that was completely out of our control. But what it did do for me, because when Planet moved in, we had CrossFit here, we had all that stuff that I never really loved the whole CrossFit side of gyms. And I think you and I have even had that discussion before. But at the time it was hot. So we put it in the gym. What I noticed when I studied the people, because I didn't personally do it in my gym and I didn't coach it. I had, another lady coaching it. And what I personally noticed was when I just watched these people, I'm like, I don't see any major changes going on here with, the physical appearance of a lot of these people. And then I started noticing that a lot of people were getting hurt. So I was kind of trying to exit that part of the gym world anyway. As long as, fast forward to COVID, when they shut us down, that gave me, I think it was 3 months, something like that, if I remember right. I came in here literally all by myself and redid my whole gym to exactly where I really wanted it from the start, from the layout to, and then just kept, even when it kind of COVID relieved, it was very slow, obviously. So I still had a few months to kind of come in and tweak things. So long story short, it allowed me to put a flow in my gym that I basically have three rooms that all tie together and they're all connected, no like closed doors or private areas or anything. But as soon as you walk in, it's kind of the cardio area. Now we have open floor space. And it's kind of like where you are if you're a beginner. Then you kind of flow into the next room and it's all selectorized, plate loaded stuff, real high end Atlantis equipment that you get into if you don't really want to mess with free weights, but you can still get a lot done on the machines that are in there. And then you flow in back to it's all free weights. All the plates are back in one area. You got your belt squats, you got your squat racks, you got every heavy leg press, like those types of things where the serious lifter is going to go spend their time. So it allowed me to get the flow of that stuff. And then we put turf down for sled drags and sled pushes, so that type of athlete. So I really got to design the gym that if you know what you're doing, then you can come in here. I don't care if you wanted to do a CrossFit workout or if you're a elite athlete or you're just a beginner to intermediate workout person, you can come in here and the way the flow is set up, you really shouldn't bump into anybody, even when it's really busy, if that makes sense. And it's not like sitting there, I got to wait 15 minutes for this squat rack. I got plenty of squat racks. And then I got the machines laid out to where, kind of like what I said, you're not going to bump into too many different people as far as what your workout time is.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
So it's set up for the person where you should be training 45 minutes to an hour tops in your workout. If you're doing much over an hour in your workouts and you're really working out, you're kind of wasting your time after that. If you're pushing in your workout.
Gotcha.
You're working out the right way.
Yeah.
You're going hard.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so interestingly enough, we have not done any advertisement at all since COVID.
Wow.
It's all come word of mouth. And now when the Planet Fitness customer comes in, I'm just like, I don't even waste my time. I was like, it's right down the road. If that, I don't even listen to like, well, I can get this. You can, and it's right down the road. I don't have any other response than that. Like, we're not the gym for you if that's what you're looking for. And we're still here. So
if you're looking for a membership just to feel good that you have a membership, that's the place for you.
That's the place for you. If you're going, and it's funny though, because I've probably gotten in the last year, I'd say 50 people have come from Planet Fitness because they're fed up. They said it's just a big social hour. It's way too crowded. It's a bunch of immature kids running around over there that, don't know what they're doing and, that type of thing.
Have you been inside one?
Never stepped inside one.
So this is how it is, because I just recently stepped inside one just to see. And it's, if you're a regular gym that you have equipment that to get in shape, there's no competition there because they have 4 of the same exact machines. They have only 2 cable crosses. Like everything is all duplicates just to fill up space in the gym, which again, someone like my mom and dad, fine, as they're probably just going to use the treadmill. But if you're actually wanting to do something to change yourself that's specialized, you have to go to a regular gym.
You have to. 'Cause from what I understand, they don't have like free bars or anything, right? Everything's Smith machine. They have dumbbells, and I've heard anything from they go to like 70 pounds to some of them don't even have 70-pound dumbbells. So, whatever. But
and then that alarm goes off if you drop a weight.
Never personally stepped in one of those anywhere. Like not even when I was out of town just to go see one. Like I've never been in one. I mean, I've seen pictures of them, of like layouts of them and stuff, but that's about it.
Sure. Well, they take the gym model and flip it on its head, which is like kind of like what do they say? Whatever your town population is, you could expect 10% of that to come and sign up at your gym. Like 30% may be people willing to sign up. You're lucky to get 10, 15% of those people to actually come to your gym, where they flip it up and they like, for example, and I tell a story all the time, my parents, I've been selling gym memberships since I was 21 years old. I'm 42. And it used to kill me that I used to be the type of person that could get somebody to prepay personal training for the whole year and spend $8,000. And I couldn't get my parents to sign up for a gym membership. And they called me up one day. Hey, I signed up to a gym. You'll be so proud. And I'm like, what's the name? I'm going to call and get personal training for you. And they're like, Planet Fitness. I'm like, they're never going to step foot in there, which they don't. It's been like 3 years. And they're never going to cancel because they go, I'll just go next month.
I give them credit from a business standpoint, from a business model. It's genius. You got to give them credit there. They went after the lazy person and made them feel like, I'm going to have a membership, and they never use it. From a business standpoint, it's genius. It is. Yeah. But they're just preying on the weak-minded person that doesn't want to spend money to get in the proper shape and just ends up never going anyway. So, but they never cancel because it's only $10.
But you know what? You're in a small town, and there's I talk to a lot of people will call us before they even own a gym, and they'll say, well, I don't know, I'm in a small town. And I'll tell them, like, you could still get 1,000 people, 500 people into your gym. And, just because it's a small town doesn't mean anything. I've seen people where they thought they were going to have 250 members. Fast forward after like a good pre-sales and a good opening and spreading the word of mouth that, I've signed up, and whatever type of referral program you have, they're now well over 500, and now they're looking for a second location. So how would you say your experience was with being from a small town and getting your gym profitable to where it's not in the red every single month? Because I think that's what scares a lot of small town people from opening up a gym. They're scared that you just won't have the member base. What tips would you say to people like that? Like because you said 5,000, you said your town population is?
Yeah. So my situation was a little bit different just for the fact that I was the first 24-hour gym in the town. I was the first game in town. Then time came, then Planet Fitness came. So I started before. I wasn't like, okay, how am I going to go in and attack this town with these other 2 gyms in the town? They came and pretty much attacked me, and I survived that. So it's a little bit different for me. I would have to think about that, like how, at the end of the day, I guess I would just tell anybody kind of what I told you what my gym is now. You got to just set yourself apart and, make yourself stand out in the way. One, I think for the most part, I think decent the equipment's not the main seller. I've learned that, but I think you need to have some good equipment. So you need to make sure that you have some different pieces from those general gyms like a Planet Fitness. And then you just have to put together the layout and just make the community about it different. And that's on you as the owner. It comes from your own personality, I think. You got to be a likable person that people trust. And once they realize that you're constantly changing things, and then once you get to a great, flow or whatever that you have, that you're just constantly keeping things clean and keeping things updated and always just asking questions of what they like. what they don't like, things like that, and just be engaging with them. I think that goes a long way in a small town, more so in a big town, because in a big city, nobody cares. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, I don't think anybody cares to like go in there and conversate, or, maybe a little bit, but not like, and small towns, it's like gossip. Everybody wants to know what everybody's doing, or everybody knows everybody. So
Yeah.
I'll see the same people in here at 10 a.m. every day that come in, and most of them will work out, but then they want to have their conversations back there too. So it's kind of like
some
that.
want to talk to you more than they actually work out. How many times, dude, now being a gym owner, do you realize I'm the gym owner, psychiatrist, customer service, I'm this, like, there's so many of those people. Every gym has them. The names and faces change, but they will want to talk to you as the owner more than they actually work out every time they come in.
Yeah, so I try to get my workout in around 10 a.m. every day, so it's not the super busy time of the day, and it's some of the older guys that either want to talk football with me or whatever. But they know me enough that when I have my headphones in, for the most part, they kind of just let me get my workout in, and then I'll stand around and talk to them for 15 minutes or so after.
Yeah. That's
so
kind
funny.
of like, that's cool though, that you do have in a small town, like, them, you have relationship with your members. So would you say that that's kind of like what you do to ensure you get members walking through the door, you keep members? Like, you kind of touched on setting yourself apart because people know your gym with the reputation of being like, hey, we come in here and we come to work out. But like, what is it that you've done or like want to do to get members to come through the door? Like, what's your marketing strategy, if you will?
Well, it was really just putting the gym together, and like I said, to have the most flow and most competitive as far as equipment to do that. And now we like literally, I talked to you before we got on here, Natalia. I'm getting ready to do like a little text campaign to existing members, and we're going to pull all the members that were members of the past and start doing some promotional things again. To engage with the members and try to get people back that were maybe here before that aren't members anymore for whatever reason, and just keep building the community, because from what I've gathered and I don't really get on social media much anymore, but people would tell me like, oh, I saw people talking about your gym on Facebook and they love it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good.
I want to go out there. It looks sick. I like the color scheme. I'm like, hey, this looks nice. Like, it looks like a really, really nice, like, open space, like, and it's very modern. So yeah, it's appealing for sure. Like the way you set it up. So I would want to go work out there.
And before COVID, my building and my actual gym's about 10,500 square feet, but I actually separated out about 3,500 square feet that's completely separate from the gym that I'm going to put before and after school care in. And then my members are also going to be able to utilize that. So like if you're a gym member, you can bring your kid, and it's like a licensed facility over there in that section that like we can watch your kid, and it's like a legit service. It's not just like, hey, here's a dog fence, we're going to put your kid in the corner. So, and I ain't even got to do that yet. So you'll see, probably since you guys see the software, when I do that, you'll probably see a big influx of gym members as well, because that's another thing that's going to set me apart, because nobody has that in this small town either. Like obviously Anytime doesn't have it. Obviously Planet Fitness doesn't have it. So that's another piece I'm going to add to it. It's going to make it even more like family oriented, where mom and dad can come and get a serious workout in for an hour while their kids being attended to in like a legit care center.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Going to really change like the demographic of people that come into your gym, because you're going to have parents who want to come who have kids.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I want to live too, but they had nowhere to bring their kids, so now they can. Yeah. Awesome.
Which I do see, like, I'll notice like stay-at-home moms coming in the mornings, 9, 10, 11 a.m., and then the dads will come in at night. And the dads sometimes will come in with like their kids, like whether it's their son or whoever, and they'll all work out and they'll do their separate thing, but they're in the building together. But those kids are more like, 14, 15, 16 years old, where there's still nothing for you know, a 5-year-old or 6-year-old. You obviously can't bring them to the gym while you're working out because it's just not safe for them to run around over there, or you just can't get a workout anyway.
Exactly.
So it's going to bring no one abuses that.
What's that?
So I was going to say, just make sure no one abuses that. I swear, I worked at gyms with like huge daycares in them, and the mom would show up to drop them off, go to the locker room, and like a minute later, I'd see her come down and then like leave to go shopping for 2 hours.
That's a good point. We'd noticed that, but the other thing, I'll just bill you.
If you're billing for it, no worries. But I know some gyms will do like $9.99 for daycare, whatever. It's like, dude, it's so you can work out, not so you can go shopping at Nordstrom's or something, you know?
No, we'll make sure that doesn't happen. We'll set the pricing up where like they'll be serious about it.
And then like some gyms do have like time limits, you know, where they'll say you can do, I mean, at least here in Vegas, they'll say like, will keep them for 3 hours, like within this time to kind of ensure that they're, not going too far.
That makes sense.
But that's really cool. So it sounds like you're doing a lot to kind of like, I mean, market to, you know, like moms and dads and bring people in and change up the gym. But if you could go back and do it all over again, like what would you do different, or what could yourself now tell your, you know, newbie gym owner, like what to do? What would you change?
Good question.
Ooh, that's a great question. Let's see. Ooh. I think maybe just so when I was building my building, I ended up putting some money into some aesthetic things, which you said my gym looks really cool, right? And I agree, it does. Some of that stuff was kind of expensive to do, some of it not so much. So where I've learned that some of those things, I would take that money that was put into certain aesthetic looking things and put it into maybe like different equipment, just because it looks really cool in here. I think people like that, but I can't tell you for sure that that's a selling point. You know what I mean? As far as a major selling point, I say anyways. Like, I don't know if anybody's
coming in. Are you making more money than if you wouldn't have had it?
I believe like the look and the cool overall, but some of the just like smaller aesthetic things that I put some money into, I'd probably take that and put it into different, more equipment or something from the start. But other than that, like, I don't know, it's just like, hindsight's always 20/20, right? It doesn't matter, no matter what business. I believe for the most part, in each moment of time that I evolved in the gym industry, I pretty much made the right decision, I think. Some of it's just like any business, you're going to lose money. That's inevitable. You're going to make a bunch of mistakes. And if you learn from that, then you're going to evolve and be able to keep growing. And it's the people that just can't take, you know, whether it's, I just lost money or, you know, the COVID thing, you know, the people that aren't conditioned and just quit, they're not going to survive. So going back, I don't think there's any major one regret that I can say, I wish I wouldn't have did that.
Wow.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
So if you're a new gym owner that's watching this, I think you said before you probably would have like made the design like your flow from the beginning. And I like you said that because you 100% believe in what you're selling. You know that place is exactly the way you want it. And that comes across in the sale if somebody's checking out prices. Like if I see an owner like, wow, he is super proud of this gym. I could see how clean it is and everything. I don't care if it's $20 more. I'm signing up there.
Yeah. I'm actually at the gym. You want to walk you through it real quick so you can see it?
Yeah, absolutely. Show us around.
Yes, we would love
Give us a tour.
I'm in the back office. I don't think we're busy over there right now. I'll show you the news because I think if you even look at our website, we're still updating all that stuff. So it's going to be the let me flip this around here and I'll just talk to you as we're kind of walking through.
Sure.
Can I flip?
Take us if we just walk through your gym as like somebody that's looking at prices. Like if you were going to give me a tour of your facility and treat us like we're somebody that's checking out your gym.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Oh, you know,
my next question is, what are your standard operating procedures when somebody walks through? So this is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be like MTV Cribs, but like gym edition.
Yeah.
Gym edition.
I love it.
All right, so I'm going to be out here in the entrance. I'm going to flip the thing around so you guys can see it.
Awesome.
Okay, so this will be, if you just walked in the front door, this is what you see. This is the entrance of the gym. You have the women's locker room entrance over there. You have the guys' locker room entrance over here. Okay, we got some pretty cool aesthetics.
Yeah.
In the entrance here. So you walk in the guy's side.
I'll cover my eyes.
No, I'm not going to take you into the because I think there's people in there.
I'm like, I don't want no birthday suit today. I'm good.
So now we're going to walk back. You would come out of the girls' locker room straight ahead right there. You're coming out the girls. And then now we're going to head into the gym. So one of the new additions is the black turf right here that you see. And I wanted to put it, one second. Good. I wanted to put it in an area that's completely out of the way of everybody. So you can do sled drags, pushes. We'll do sprints on this sometimes and all that. Now, if you look into the first room that you kind of walk into, this is your cardio room. There's the open floor space I was talking about where we'll see a lot of people just get down and stretch, foam roll, do that type of thing. We got some kettlebells over here with some medicine balls. And then you're going to head back into the immediate room. This is where a lot of the Atlantis selectorized equipment is.
Yeah.
And we got some cool aesthetics in here too, with the lights up there and stuff like that. And as you make your way back into this back room, this is this serious, heavy plate loaded stuff. So you got your specialty bars, you got your bands, your heavy bag, 2 main squat racks here. Yeah, the belt squat, which a lot of gyms, you're not going to see that in Planet Fitness. Couple different leg press there, hack squat, leg press. Reverse hyper, which I think is a special piece. A lot of people don't have in their gyms. It's good for rehab and things like that. A couple more squat racks over here. And then we have the deadlift platform in the middle of the floor. So kind of people that like to ego lift, it's right there in the middle of the floor for you.
All the noise, yeah.
And then we have a couple back and chest machines over here on this side with the competitive bench right there in the middle as well.
Awesome.
That's pretty much the layout now.
Yeah.
I just feel like for me, I've seen a lot of people, you know, like the flow of it. I personally like the flow of it when I'm working out. So
it just flows so nice the way you have it laid out now.
Yeah.
Open, like airy. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, look at that right there. It's like as soon as you walk onto the floor, it's like nice and open. It's almost like calming where it's like, oh, I think I'm going to go to the treadmill. Like that beautiful flow.
Yeah.
Really was. COVID was a blessing for you to switch it up because it just, you walk right through it super laid out just with such precision. Really nice.
Yeah. So far, so good. So we're just going to keep growing from here.
Yeah.
That opening is so beautiful too. I mean, like with every sign up, I would have everybody take a picture after their sign up and make them tag the gym. So this way they're like broadcasting it to their whole friends on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, that they just signed up, because that is unreal, that opening that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we actually I put the logo on the wall over here. So it's up kind of high so people can stand under it and take a picture with the logo and then use that for advertising for us. Yeah, free advertisement.
That's perfect. I always said on the last podcast I did it with my friend Chris, I said, you have a mirror at your gym where everyone takes gym selfies, whether it's in the bathroom or something. Every gym has that mirror with the best lighting where people take gym selfies, right? Yeah. So whatever mirror that is, like go to a sign company and have like a hashtag and your gym name on there. So this way, at least there's some advertising when they do those gym selfies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there it is.
I know you got everything, but you have everything. You cater, but even though it's a gym for, like you said, people are serious about it. You have everything for what anyone would need. So that's really awesome. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what part.
Before we go, I want to put a couple questions in like that, where so gym owners are going to take some value out of dealing with like real world issues. You guys you've been there for a while now. What would you say, like if like customer service issue, customer comes in, they're saying they've been charged, haven't used it. Like, can you give us an example of like a customer service that could have started out like as a problem and how you solved it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally deal with I have a couple people that work the main desk, and they'll take the calls, and they're very good at diffusing situations. Me personally, I kind of I go to like feeling bad for people probably more than I should, and end up crediting something when I probably shouldn't. So when it comes to customer service, I think for the most part, we cater to the customer more than enough to accommodate them, even if they're in a contract and they got a few months left. We're going to make them at least pay one more month or something like that. And then, I'm not going to argue with somebody. I'm not a confrontational type person, but if I start to feel like somebody's really just doing something to try to take advantage of me, then I'll just be that person and not be nice about it. But for the most part, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, whether it's they call and say they lost their job, or obviously they're going to move out of town and they didn't know they were going to move. I'm not going to stick them for a bunch of money. Worst case scenario, I'll make them go halfway with me. And I seem to get a pretty good response with that.
Yeah.
That brings up another real good question that it seems like new gym owners are having, where finding good help. You said you have two great people that diffuse situations. So it sounds like you have really good employees. What would be a piece of advice to, like, for a gym owner that's struggling in that department? Like, where do you find your employees? And is there a specific way? Like, do you find them? Like, I used to look for kids shopping that were pushing carts in Best Buy because there's nowhere but up from that job, and those guys will be soldiers for you. Is there a special way that you handpick people out?
No, luckily, I've been pretty fortunate with that. Like my two current employees right now, they were just gym members, and they were kind of like, hey, if you ever need anybody. And then when somebody would leave, I would know that person asked me. And I just got a new girl that just started like 2 weeks ago, but I've had a guy that's been with me almost since COVID. And he's just a younger kid. He just turned 21. I'm still taking some college classes, and he knows me by now. Like, I'm just the type of person, like, I'm not going to breathe down your neck, but if I show you more than 3 times, I'm going to confront you on why you're not doing something, whether that's cleaning something or whatever. And I just get to the point where I'm like, this is what I expect. I'm never going to bring anything up to you unless I come in and you're sitting up with your feet on the desk and there's something not done. Then if I do that once or twice, I'm going to say, okay, we need to have a discussion. And I'll kind of, for the most part, they'll respond pretty well after they have that discussion because they know I'm serious. And I think they like working here, so they don't want to lose their job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this younger generation, I think you probably see it too, and they're different. You got to kind of hold their hand a little bit. But from what I've got with the employees that I have, if I show them what I want, they'll do it. You just have to show them.
Yeah, I agree. So
they're not the type of kid that's going to come. I don't see this generation of kids coming in and being like, oh, they just know that they need to like clean something and do this on their own. Like, I think that's how we were growing up, but they're not like that anymore. Yeah, they're not just going to take the initiative to do it all on their own. Like, you got to show them. You got to hold their hand and show them.
Gotcha.
But I've been lucky enough that once I do that, they'll do their job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
So again, if anyone's watching this that is not open the gym yet and looking for some information, would advices on buying versus leasing? Like, do you own that building?
I own the building, yes, which has been very beneficial to me. Because even as I was going through all the challenges and COVID in the back of my head, I'm just like, well, if the gym doesn't work out, I'm just going to use the building for something else or sell the building. So I did have that advantage to me through COVID. I've never seen the statistics, but I would believe that a lot of the gyms that end up closing through COVID were probably renting space, renting their equipment, and then when they lost the monthly cash flow with the gym memberships, it just killed them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could.
I'm a real estate guy, so I always would recommend, if you can, get the real estate, buy your building. That's my personal opinion. So that's what I would always tell somebody to do. And that's any business. That's not just the gym business. I don't think you can, for the most part, if you're, as long as you're not a complete idiot with what you're buying in the real estate industry, real estate's always good. And then you have the control. You don't have to worry about somebody saying, oh, I'm going to raise the month this rent. No, like, you got a mortgage. It is what it is. You know what it is every month. You're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything.
Yeah. And that probably helps even for you to be able to like set up what it is that you want to charge for your memberships, you know. And we were looking at your memberships, like you have it very like clean cut. It's like 3, no bones about it, easy, but you kind of gauge your pricing, you know, because you're more in control. You're not going to have to worry about, you know, like you said, the landlord raising your rent or anything else. So that's
Anthony, I'm sure would remember, we've tried all the different membership types. Like, we've tried anything and everything from the start. At one point, I just got to the point where I'm like, we need 3 basic memberships, because I think people are, for the most part, pretty simple. If you just break it down for them, like, this is it, 1, 2, or 3. They'll make a decision faster, and it just makes it easier for them. And they don't feel like we're trying to be pushy or like really upsell them on anything. I don't even do any personal training right now. We haven't since COVID. So I'll probably at some point maybe bring that back in to be a revenue source for us. But I was more interested in being able to have the kids in here too. So
sure. Well, having 3 memberships, it eliminates the excuses. Like, if you're a gym owner watching this, remember, people don't just walk into your gym and just plop down a debit card. There's sales involved, right? And people will look for any excuse not to sign up to feel good about not signing up. And part of that is I have to think about it because you have 10 different options. Yeah. So I'm sure you've noticed, once you switch that from all the different options to just 3, your sales had to have gone up, I'm guessing.
They did. And for a while, the hottest one was the 3-month membership. People were buying that 3-month package. Like, you basically paid for 3 months. And I don't know what that was. It was probably after COVID. People were just kind of like, they didn't want to sign a contract because they didn't know if gyms were going to get shut down again, or I don't know. For a while, we had a bunch of the oil and gas industry in this area, and they were in and out of town. So they didn't want to sign a contract because they didn't know when they were going to have to leave, you know. But yeah, that 3-month package did really well for us. It still does, but it was really hot for a while. Or that'll sell like in the summer months, like people want to just come in and do something for the summer, or the winter months, you know, and not be committed the whole year round. So, or they'll do it for 3 months and be like, okay, I really like it. I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'll just rebuy the 3-month again. Yeah. Keep doing that.
When you first started, did you buy all new equipment?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you were talking to somebody that was about to build a gym, would you say, like, hey man, go look at used equipment, because it's not going to be a make or break for somebody. Like, somebody's not going to walk into your gym and say, oh no, there's a scratch on that equipment, I'm not signing up. If you had to open another location right now, would you buy all new equipment again, or would you?
I don't think it has to be new. I think it just has to be nice. If that makes sense.
Yep.
You know, So yeah, you can go. You don't have to go out and buy all new equipment. I think really gym equipment is like buying a car. As soon as you buy it, it's going to depreciate. Right? There's no real value in new gym equipment. So if you can find either somebody that went out of business and they're just trying to unload, get something out of the equipment they had, like yeah, highly recommend that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Again, just be nice. Like it has to be good equipment. It can't be janky. It can't be breaking down the first 3 months in business if you're trying to start your journey. I don't think that's going to go over too well, but nobody, as long as it's good functional stuff that works the way that it's supposed to work, then yeah, you can buy used.
Right. Worst case scenario, repad it and looks new.
Yeah.
You see,
and I've done that a couple times. Yeah, I had to do that a couple of times to just repad it, and it looks brand new. Everybody's like, wow, you get new equipment. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Was there a reason why you stopped doing personal training? And you
really
plan on
the COVID, once everybody got so skeptical about being 2 feet from somebody, was really it. And plus personal training in our area is not a huge deal just because I think I told you the household median income around here is not great. It's okay. It's not great. But especially in today's world, I think one of the last things somebody's going to want to pay is like say $65 an hour to have personal training, especially with access to social media, even though that most of that's garbage and complete garbage. They don't know that. They think that they're watching somebody who knows what they're talking about on social media for free to get their workouts. So they don't really value the personal training thing anymore, I don't think.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Maybe some small group or something.
Like
3 to 4 at a time, just a group of moms that want to come in and work out together but want a little bit of instruction. I think we have a niche for that still in our area a little bit.
Yeah. But it's probably harder even still to find trainers, I would imagine, like being that you're finding decent trainers is a challenge. So if you don't have trainers, you can't train people. So you have to get those first.
Well, that was always the issue, right? Especially if you did a split. Like, how many times did trainers walk into your facility and go, I want 70%, but I'm going to bring, 30 people over with me and you're going to get the membership. So I should make that. I've never once experienced a trainer. I once told the trainer one time, you know what? I'll okay 90% if you have that many people. Just put everybody down on a list that's coming over, and whoever's on that list, I will give you 90%. Not one trainer ever came through on that. And two, the trainer's basically telling you, okay, when they're ready to jump ship at your location, they're going to steal a bunch of your customers.
These trainers, like that's the thing you deal with the trainers. They want to promote their own personal brand in your gym as their own personal trainer because they think, on their own social media that they think whatever they are. And then, then you got to deal with them building up their clientele base in your gym on your dime, and then just going and trying to open their own place. I mean, it's just like a vicious cycle with that's happened here. And, I just don't really care to deal with it anymore. I have to be like, okay, you have to wear a Source Fitness shirt when you're in here. This isn't your brand to come in here and train people. And I think trainers just get a little bit egotistical when it comes to that stuff.
What do you think of trainers paying rent? Like, you not even bother with selling training at your club if you're just charging them like $600 a month. It's their own LLC company. So if anything happens, like I
actually think that's a great idea. If you got, in the bigger market, I don't think, again, around here, a trainer doesn't know the value, but I would do that if I was in a big city for sure. Like, hey, it's $1,000 a month. You can do whatever you want to do. You can promote your own brand, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just every month you got to pay $1,000. I don't care if you have 50 people or 5 people. It's $1,000 to the gym.
Yeah. Takes all the stress off.
If they're good, any trainer that's good is going to be like, okay. Because then to them, they don't have to put up a big investment to get their own equipment and stuff, right? And if they think that they can get 30, 40, 50 clients, they're going to be making money with $1,000, off the top, right?
Yep.
They should do very well for themselves. So I just think if you tell that to somebody and they're like, I don't know if I, then they don't believe in themselves. They're not going to be able to do it anyway. They're just looking for the easy, you know, the easy route to get to it. Yeah.
I'm a fan of the renting because, you know, let's say you do have a good setup of 50-50 split, 60-40, whatever your split is. It's only a matter of time before that trainer starts stealing from you and training under the table and doing parking lot deals. I don't care if it's your best friend. It's going to happen, you know?
I agree 100%. Yep.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Any ending questions, Natalia, you want to ask?
When are you going to open out a gym here in Vegas, Dad? That gym looks
You want me to come over there and open it
or New York, that's closer, next to Anthony.
You don't want to open a gym in New York with everything out here.
They got anything and everything out there. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That brings a good location. We'll end on is multi-location. Have you ever thought about building a separate location for like you know, to expand?
Yeah, I did. And I'm actually, as long as I've been in business, the model that I have now, if I were to ever do it, would be the model that I'd try to duplicate. So now that we got through all the COVID stuff and I showed you my layout and things like that, yeah, if I were to ever be interested in doing now, and I guess technically franchising or affiliate or whatever you would call them, yeah, it would be this layout, this model.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I know we went over a little bit, but you had a bunch of really good questions, and thank you for answers, and thank you for the tour. Your gym is immaculate, and I really do wish you had one of those over here.
Yeah, for real. I know.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
Yeah, there you go. I
appreciate it, guys. Thank you. What's that?
I said, thank you. Your gym was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was unexpected. So really cool.
I enjoyed it.
All right.
All right, guys. Talk to you in a bit.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.